Tuesday rolls around, we fight the lies. Lisa and Sean, truth warriors, heads held high. Smash the masks, reveal the sand they weave. Light in the dark, we got no time to grieve. We don't sleep, we don't bow, we don't break. For every phony tale, there's a stake. Truth ain't easy, she don't come for free. Blaze the trail, kick the lies to the sea. Rise up, truth warriors, stand tall. Lisa and Sean answering the call. Tuesday's our battlefield, no more delay. Truth on
Hey everybody, welcome to Truth Tuesday. I had thought I started the show and I didn't. Lisa caught it, so we're good to go. For the second half, first half was over on her channel. We're both super tired.
We are both super tired.
I've just been up and she's been running and dealing with a lot of stuff. I've actually been dealing with a lot of stuff too. But anyway, there's a lot for us to go over. We talked a lot about the very case, and there's some.
Yeah, it's really, I mean, it's crazy exciting stuff going on.
Yeah,
so
some good information over there and links if you go check it out if you want to take part in that. If you
I've also been tweeting about it. There's a lot of very token holders who have been looking into different parts of it. Like this was interesting. I was just looking at Sovereign Riz. He says, should U.S. taxpayers be footing the bill to defend Jorge Tenero for this ethical disaster? Legal fees for his defense could easily run over $500,000. Should we, the public, be paying for what looks like possible unethical behavior? Here's a link to the bar complaint.
Which we talked about the basically how we the people gave up our power when we changed the money, because the government had to come to us for money to do anything. We wouldn't have all the problems that we had. We wouldn't have had the wars. Basically, we wouldn't have anything that we don't want because they couldn't do it without us because we're the ones that paid for everything. But it was, it's all just control, and it's one of the reasons why crypto is so important. I wanted to go over. We talked about. You kind of touched on it. What different countries and what the Maui fire. Those people.
Okay, one more thing. Speaking of fire, did you know that Wyoming is on fire right now?
No.
More than half of Wyoming is burning like crazy. And it's right where there's all this very valuable, it's like some of our most valuable mineral lands.
Valuable mineral lands. Funny you brought that up. I don't know if
I'm using the right words.
Yes, I don't know if you know this or if anyone else knows this, but Afghanistan, you know how we used to be there for a real long time.
Mm-hmm.
And we were in control of that area. Do you know what Afghanistan is super rich in?
No.
Lithium.
Oh, the same thing as North Carolina.
Really?
Did you not hear about that? Supposedly,
yeah, I'm being silly. Yeah,
you're being facetious.
What happened in Maui? How that was destroyed, and then there was a certain group of people who seemed to have a lot of money. They wanted to buy all the land up real cheap.
Yes, I heard about that.
Those people are in North Carolina already, and in Tennessee.
I heard people in North Carolina that are already getting offers for their land.
All of the lithium, the richest lithium deposit.
And they've been fighting to keep them out of that area for years.
Yeah, and now those people are there salivating to get some land on the cheap. Uh,
So do you think this is part of the Great Taking or whatever
oh yeah, I do. I
that
think
they're
I
playing?
think I've been thinking a lot
Hmm.
about this recently because I'm so fed up just seeing what's going on, and I'm wondering how we've all been turned into gigantic wusses and Americans because other countries are different. We as Americans, this is an experiment. We were rabble rousers, troublemakers. Um, you know, we fought the British Empire because they tried to hit us with a little tiny tax,
Right.
and now they're literally their own government. The government tried to give us a tax. It was the British government, and we went crazy. Um, we now are being killed by our government, allowed to die, ignored, killed, um, and they're stealing from us, and we're not doing anything. And no one does anything. No one cares. I'm told you we're so apathetic, and I'm disgusted by myself and everyone, all Americans. But you can pick your conspiracy as to why we're this way. Fluoride. You know,
They did just pull fluoride.
it.
Uh,
But like I said, pick your conspiracy as to why
we are waking up.
we are girly men and why we're terrible. No, why we're not waking up. Why we allow them to do this. Why we're allowing them to kill people in North Carolina. While we're allowing them to take all of our money and give them $750. Why we allow it is, I said, pick your conspiracy as to why we suck. But what they can't do is change our instincts, our DNA. The last election, I really wanted to be more sharp when I had this conversation, but I'll do it in my dumbed down state. Um, what changed the election was they messed with people's kids in school,
Mm,
and housewives and regular moms and people who didn't care about politics. I don't care about politics. It doesn't affect me. That's when they stood up. They went to school boards, and then the FBI said that they're domestic terrorists.
right.
And that's what changed the whole election, the last one. That's what had all the talking heads like, well, this school issues actually was a really big deal because you can't they can't make you a wussy when it comes to your children.
Right. So that got
You
people locally active.
you
Good point.
instinctually will defend it. Like, you can do what you want to me, you can do, but nope, you mess with my kids.
Mhm.
And that's, I think, the only thing that they haven't been able to change about us. Which, yeah, Tom, that's when they woke up the mama bears, and they cleaned house, and they got rid of the governor of uh, Virginia, for God's sake. Um, but so, like I said, I guess I don't know if you know a lot of what's going on in in Tennessee, especially like Asheville. So I have had an interview. You can look at my past interviews a few weeks ago with Johnny B. Um, he's a nice guy. Has pretty big channel. He just does memes. He's kind of a freedom 2A influencer. But so, and he lives literally like 15 minutes from Asheville, to where all the devastation is during. He lost power. He was, had a lot of. But anyway, as soon as it happens, he puts up a GoFundMe. He's like, "Hey, I know these people that are. They're just a bunch of people with chainsaws, and they're going out and clearing the roads and doing volunteering."
Mm,
So he's like, he puts up a GoFundMe for $3,000 to try to get them some money for just help out. Within like hours or a day, he had over 20 grand. He had to stop it because they had over $20,000. They went, they outfitted, these guys with new chainsaws, chains, food, just everything they needed. He owns like a t-shirt company, him and some other Mr. Guns and Gear and other 2A influencers. They own this t-shirt company called TriStar Trading. They they organized like aid using the company. They donated like a bunch of their blankets and stuff to everybody. Um, so like really fast. They created this the way the United States is supposed to be. This private sector came together and they started getting all this aid organized. Um, there was this like 80-year-old woman that the chainsaw guys cleared out a road of like 2 miles. You can go watch it on his channel, but to her house and got her out, and got her to safety. But and I saw a perfect quote that this and these hurricanes in general have shown everybody the best in our citizens and the worst evils in our government. Um, so there's this one woman who's up on the mountain in the middle of nowhere, and uh, they're cooking and bringing food and feeding everybody. Um, and they're using like residential people's pots and pans. So this group of guys, they go out, they buy a bunch of like restaurant, you know, pots and pans and from a restaurant supply company. Um, and there's people that just own helicopters and planes that are up there and they're saving people and bringing them down out of the mountains and all that. So they get this plane loaded up with all the pots and pans and everything. They get it up there to this lady. She's super excited. They're going to be able to feed people much faster. And the sheriff comes up. And says, "Oh no, we're confiscating all of this stuff.
What?
You can't do this, right?" The sheriff comes up and then other sheriffs start confiscating the food, the aid, because it's not authorized. It's not authorized. It doesn't matter that they literally are mad because they're taking credit away from the government. Only the government is allowed to hand out aid or to help anyone. You can't help. But they said they would arrest you. They would arrest her if she fed anyone. They would. So now we'll go back to the helicopter people. Lots of people that just own helicopters or planes are trying to do what they can. This guy he's up in the mountains and getting people that are stranded. There's a husband and wife who haven't had food or water for like, I think, 2 days. They're on a cliff. He lands. There's only room for one of them. So the guy's like, "Take my wife. I'll wait here." He flies back to the airport, lands, is letting everyone out, gonna get gassed up and go get the guy who's still on the cliff until the fireman marshal comes up and said, "Hey, if you can't go save people, you're not with the government. I'm gonna have you arrested if you go up again." He goes, "Well, there's a guy. I left the guy on this cliff. He hasn't had water or anything for 2 days. He could die." And it's like, "Yeah, so you get in that helicopter, and I'm gonna have you arrested." They left the guy there. The fireman. That's
Be kidding me.
local.
Okay, so but I've been seeing that. I also saw where they were saying that they're stopping that FEMA is also paying recruiting for security right now to stop people from returning to their homes for Florida.
They're
But then,
the government
That's supposedly getting fact checked and saying that is not true. That's just disinformation. Blah blah blah.
Well, so
What do you believe?
then Glenn Beck went up there, and he's looking for FEMA. Can't find FEMA anywhere. And he finds some FEMA workers, and they're sitting at like one of those card tables and folding chairs under like some trees, and they have like this mobile center. And he's like, "Hey, what are you doing?" And they're like, "Oh yeah, well we haven't done much. We just got here last night. Like it was really hard to get here." Um, and he's like, "Yeah, it's hard for people to get out of certain areas." Um, so basically, like, and now here's the thing: we know about the money, right? He's like, "Why isn't the military here? Why aren't like you
Yeah,
said?"
that's what everybody's asking.
This is what the few people told him there on the ground, Glenn Beck. We don't have any resources. They're all deployed and busy at the border, the southern border.
Wow.
So
Which
literally,
that goes back to the narrative of the same thing as the funds.
they're taking care of illegal immigrants, and they
Mhm.
don't have people. They're not even sending. They're not saying, "Hey, lock it up here. We have an emergency. Get these people shipped over to Tennessee, North Carolina, wherever." They're still there, and that's the main priority. Um, Now, if you want to talk money, I'm an idiot on the internet with a YouTube channel. I'm the dumb guy. Watch us on Thursday. We're on World Blockchain Roundtable. Um, it's everyone's there is smart. I'm the dumb guy who is there for a comic relief. Um, they
Not
they
true.
they always say it's not true, but it is. But just so you know how basic this math is, okay? Um, so I told you about the Black Hawk helicopter. We talked about that
Yes. Uh-huh.
on your channel. But that was an actual attack of an unmarked. Let me see if I can. Give me a second. I
So
want you.
would military helicopters be allowed to be unmarked? Because I also saw a video where it looked like a military vehicle, but it had Chinese writing on it.
Yeah, I sent you that.
So would that
That's
be the
that's
same kind of thing?
no. That's a weird thing. Let
Okay.
me. Where is it? This one right here. Okay. No, that's not. Dude, you put out a lot of stuff. Here we go. So let me send you this, and you can share it.
Okay.
Where is private chat? There you go. There you go.
Hold on. I gotta get through the commercial thing. Pause.
There you go.
I'm trying.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Go ahead.
Tell me when.
Go ahead.
Unmute.
Talking about this thing that happened outside of Asheville, North Carolina. The Cajun Navy had a staging area set up for supplies to help people in the midst of the devastation of Hurricane Helene. And a Black Hawk helicopter, which apparently was unmarked. I've watched this video a number of times. Came down and gave them a rotor wash and just blew their tents and their supplies and everything away. This is a mysterious situation here. Take a look at this clip and let's talk about that for a second. All right. Joining me to discuss this and get some hot takes on this, somebody who knows way more about this situation than I do, my very best friend in the world, the host of Sarah Gonzalez Unfiltered, Sarah Gonzalez. Sarah, you saw this clip. This is wild. This is appalling. What the hell is going on?
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm gonna approach this with what we know and what we don't know and what makes the most sense. Okay. It is illegal to fly an unmarked helicopter. This appeared to be, no one can find any sort of markings indicating who this copter belongs to, where it came from. And we understand that that is illegal to do.
Mm.
So that right off the top, suspicious. How did it get there? Why was it in the airspace? Why can nobody track down who it was? There are no flight records. That is really weird, isn't it? And so you couple that with the government's lack of response, FEMA's lack of response, FEMA is saying that they're already out of money, even though we have Hurricane Milton,
Mm.
which, the experts are crying on air, warning about how devastating this is going to be for Florida. And you see the lack of response and you see the lack of care from FEMA. And then you see that there's a mysterious Black Hawk helicopter who would only be flown by a very experienced pilot or
Yeah.
pilots, would only be flown by very experienced pilots. Why in the world would a pilot see that there was a staging area for relief, go down that far, make that particular maneuver, and then fly off? For me, the only conclusion that I can come to is that they wanted to cause havoc in this disaster relief area. There's no other logical conclusion for me. There would be no way in my mind that a person who was experienced enough to fly
And
that
you can stop it. That's
not
it.
know exactly what they were doing.
There was an interview also where another pilot, similar thing happened, and they caught him on tape. Somebody said, what in the heck did you just, why'd you do that? And he goes, oops.
That's and it's the thing about, we're talking about Trump's gonna do the Epstein list.
Something's wrong.
You ask people who are the ones doing the bad stuff to investigate themselves, nothing ever happens.
Mhm.
So but here I want to go over these numbers
Okay.
because I thought this was a joke. Let me see if I can share. Uh, it was Kamala Harris. Because Libs of TikTok put it up, and it says, here, I can share.
Yes, I am. I like I am's idea.
So you can see this. It says, I thought it was a joke. The people of Lebanon are facing an increasingly dire humanitarian situation. I am concerned about the security and well-being of the civilians suffering in Lebanon.
What?
And will continue working to help meet the needs of all civilians there. To that end, the United States will provide nearly $157 million in additional assistance to the people of Lebanon for essential needs such as food, shelter, water, protection, sanitation, to help those who have been displaced by the recent conflict. This additional support will bring the total U.S. assistance to Lebanon to over $385 million in the last year. And I thought it was a joke. I thought it was like making fun of what's going on. But then I saw that a congressman that was he was saying the same thing. And then also Ron Paul. Foreign aid is taking money from poor people in rich countries and giving it to rich people in poor countries. So it's a legitimate thing. Lebanon, 300 and what'd you say it was? 300 something million, right? How many people are in the whole country of Lebanon? The entire population.
I don't know.
Throw a number.
Let's see. We're like 300 million, right? So let's say they're 100 million.
The entire country of Lebanon that we sent that money to, 5
million. That's all.
5.2 million. Half of New York City. 5 million people for the entire country who's having some problems. And we have money right away to take care of the civilian population, their sanitation needs. She said that she's concerned that's bothering her. Okay, so that Israel. How many people do you think are living in Israel? The population of Israel, whole population, who we just sent 1.8 billion to,
Mm.
or 18 billion. No, it's 1.8. I don't know, whichever.
I mean, it'd have to be way less than that, right?
Way less than Lebanon?
Lebanon, yeah.
No.
Oh,
No.
Israel's bigger.
Oh yeah, Israel's bigger.
I'm very ignorant of that. I don't know.
9
Okay,
million.
9. So almost double.
9.3. Yeah.
Okay.
So with the money that we just sent to Israel,
Mm-hmm.
how much does every man, woman, and child? How much would that work out to be?
I don't know. Don't make me do math.
$2,000 a person. Every little baby, every toddler, every kid in junior high, $2,000 that they're getting. Just if you're divided, just simple math. How much we sent versus population? Ukraine, big country, breadbasket of the. This is probably more of the math that you think. How many? What's population of Ukraine?
I don't know.
38 million people, 37.9. So I'll round up 38 million people. Now we've sent 200 plus billion. That is every citizen of Ukraine, which they're dying very quickly. But $5,750
My goodness.
per person, not per family, not per
Mm-hmm.
person. And in our own country, Hawaii to now, if they lose everything, and it's $750. And I've heard rumors that that's actually considered a loan, and that's part of the way that they
I
are
heard
able
that
to.
too.
Yeah, but
And
that
then they're gonna.
conspiracy aside, let's say it's completely just free money, $750, $5,000 more every Ukrainian citizen gets from us. And it's not that I begrudge that, but if you, like you said, if you can print it for them, why can't you print it for? And you can print it for everybody when it comes to the government taking control. But for the gingivitis outbreak, we can make that $1,200 per person, whatever. We're throwing money. But when our citizens need it, it's $750. Sorry, that's it. Oh, well, now we don't have money because it's we spent it all. We're sorry, our budget's only $30 billion. We don't have any money now because it's all gone. Sorry. But when it comes to other things, it's so obvious. I mean, they're literally, people are dying. They left the guy on the cliff for no reason other than they're
That's
taking.
insane.
Yeah,
Completely insane.
but people, like, when's enough enough? When do you stand up and do something? And I have to use the words do something. Yeah, it's a middle. I mean, it's a black
Well,
hole.
and what do you do? Which part do you do? Like, I mean, there are certain ways of. I did see a video of a guy that said he was like promoting this opt out kind of thing where you go in and you go to your boss, and he was saying on like line 7 or something of your W4, I don't know, your W something, you write exempt. And so somehow that messes with your taxes, and that's one way to kind of give them the finger.
This has really disgusted me in so many ways because the thing we always talk about is it's the people, and when it comes down to it, trust your sheriff
W2.
and blah blah blah, and it's the sheriffs are the ones that are doing this to people. It's their own community.
But the sheriffs aren't, are they?
Yes, they are. The sheriffs are the
I
ones
heard like
that
a fireman was trying to arrest people, which he doesn't have the
are.
ability
No,
to do.
I was the one that just told you that the firemen are in control of the rescue part, but the sheriff's department are the ones that are arresting people, threatening to arrest people, and confiscating confiscating the food and the
Which
aid.
that's what happened during Katrina, right?
That was a whole different thing with and that's what happened in Katrina. That's enough to end the country if people really talk about it. If that was to like, that's there should have been people killed for. I mean, what's the word when the government kills you? Executed. There should have been people that are executed for what they did. Um, but no, it's the sheriffs that are doing this in their own community.
It must be crooked
You go
sheriffs because
online.
there's a lot of sheriffs that are constitutional sheriffs that have had, like, I know people that have talked with their local sheriffs and they've already said, like, well, what would happen
Yeah,
if
and we've talked about stuff, and that's talk. It's talk, and Carlson made this point that with Louisiana, he saw how fast people turned into animals, and I think when there's a law and there's talk, and those sheriffs are standing up, and they're like, "I'm not going to enforce this," but when there's shit hits the fan, and it really does, they're turning on their own people.
But who would be backing them in that case?
That's the thing. There's who needs to back them? The government backs them because the people aren't standing up. That they should fear. They should be. That's the whole thing, dude. I'm a sheriff. I'm scared of what these 40,000 people in my county would do to me if I did something like this. And they're not. They're following orders. I'm just following orders, and they're doing it. I can't believe it. I'm so blown away and disgusted by this.
Oh, that's terrifying. Yeah. I am.
But I see the talk. I don't care about talk anymore. This has really opened my eyes. When I'm just gobsmacked at that these local officials, leaders would do this, and that are doing this. They're taking the aid, and like you said, there's people that are like literally dying. They're stuck.
Yeah, no, it's horrible.
Dehydrating. They haven't eaten.
They can't get their medication. I mean, that's the kind of stuff where, like, I mean, as a mother of a medically fragile child, it's like a nightmare.
Our electricity went out the other day, like 2 days ago, and I sleep with a BiPAP. So I woke up and I was like, my heart rate was super high. I was like, oh man, and then and that's such a basic thing you don't even think about. But we have, I got like solar generators, so I plugged it in, just went back to sleep with no electricity for 3 hours until it came back on. This is interesting. Elon said if Kamala wins, illegals get to vote, but illegals can vote already. That's the thing now. But Elon said, and it's weird seeing Trump and Elon because they're elite. I mean, they're rich. They're not regular folks. But seeing them talk, and Elon said, yeah, if she gets elected, I'm going to jail. and he's like,
he also said it's our last election if she gets.
But they're laughing. They're laughing, and it's that laugh of like, yeah, it's funny, but it's funny because it's true, and like he knows it's the end of the line. I don't see there's any other reason why he would come out like he has. He knows that this is literally, which the past few elections are all like, this is the most important election in history. I think.
Right, but if we can have an election stolen and go 4 years and nothing happened, have no accountability, why do we think another election is going to fix it? That's where my biggest if something doesn't change, if we get to 2024 and have no accountability, then how do we think we can walk in that booth and it will change anything? That's my biggest problem. Yeah, I believe Elon's an actor too.
I don't think Elon's an actor. I think Elon is a smart guy. Elon was abused. Elon had a rough life. He has autistic a little bit. I don't think he's a actor or suave enough or cool enough. The actors, you can tell the actors because you don't know they're acting. Kamala, she's stupid. No, that's a character. She may be an alcoholic. I could go with that. But Trump exposed it. It's all wrestling. It's all wrestling. They're all characters up there. I watched this physicist was talking about it. He goes, do you really think that these people are these are literal characters that they play, and they're good at it? There's one party rule. Yeah, that's how it is. But so my buddy's sister's husband, he posted this post, and it was basically it's like proof about Obama being born in Kenya. So what if that comes true? What if that's true? What if that comes out? It's proven, and Obama was actually dissolved from the beginning when Trump said the birth certificate was fake from Hawaii. He wasn't born. He's not a U.S. citizen. Does that invalidate the past 16 years of American government? Legally, does it?
Say that again. If it
comes out, it's proven, he was not a U.S. citizen. He was born in Kenya. He wasn't born in the United States. So he could not have won the presidency. Right. His presidency is invalid. 8 years, and then 4 years.
What do we do at this point? Because it's so much.
Because what if every treaty, every time that he acted with also all of drone bombings and everything, he wouldn't have presidential immunity, but that would invalidate it. What do? We would look the other way.
I think there should be a military tribunal for it, and there would be consequences for him and all those that surrounding that.
Why would he be? He's not in the military.
It doesn't matter. It's not what that's about. It's not about him being in the military.
We look the other way, just like they did. That's why they wanted to hurry up. No. We have protocol. We just got to validate the election. I didn't know this till Ted Cruz brought it up, and Ted Cruz has been saying this, and nobody repeats it. That happened. It's already happened in U.S. history. There's a precedent where there was a weird thing about the election, and they held off verifying the election for 30 days while they investigated it. Has anyone brought that up? Even Joe Rogan or any of those alternate places? No. In our American history, this happened already, and we handled it in an appropriate way. We said, hold on, the American people say something was weird. We're looking at it. We investigated it. And then they verified the election after that. They put it off for 30 days or 60 days. But I never knew that. No one has talked about that.
But then they presented false documents and said he was from Hawaii or whatever.
Yeah, so if that would make everything. They would just, people would just be like, we can't, we can't. There's nothing we can do. That's we'll just look the other way, of course, and that shows people how government is not real. It's just an idea. How laws are not real things. They're just ideas that everyone has to agree on, and if everyone disagrees with it, you can't enforce it. I think that shows people. Would show people
so how part of that it's that we're complying to things, to people that really have no power over us unless we comply. and we do live in this matrix, this false
Mhm.
reality. But as long as we comply to the threats, yes, they have a false um,
The only authority is what you give them.
authority over us, is
Yeah.
what we
Like,
give them.
yeah.
I see
And
your point.
but that would show everybody if that's like, hey, because there's certain, it's like we have to verify the election right now. Today has to be done today, and it's like, no, we don't. We just hold on.
Just say no,
These
kind of
weird
thing.
things that happened last night or
Yeah.
2 days ago. Let's just take a look. Let's have the FBI go look. Like, no. This is what we do. This is what we do. We got to do this, and then it's over.
Why do you do it? Because you have to. Well, why? No, you
Yeah.
don't.
Why?
Yeah.
That's what I've been saying.
The why
People
question.
stop
No,
asking why,
you're right. Yeah.
and that's
Well, and you've been saying that about Israel when people say, "Oh, they're our greatest ally."
why
Why?
everything. That people just used to do that. They used to question everything, and that's how you learned.
Hmm.
That's literally maybe that's why people have gotten dumber over the years, is because they just stopped
That
asking
and fluoride.
why.
Why?
All right. Well, it's time. It's late actually.
It's
I'm
time.
gonna,
We're exhausted,
we
but
are. I'm
I
gonna
hope
go to bed.
everybody's asking why.
Yes. Ask
And
why.
now what? Ask why and then say now what?
It was probably back when it was why ask why, just drink but dry. I had a weird feeling about that ad campaign.
Maybe that's what.
That was the beginning of the end. All
Yeah.
right. You guys take care. Love you. We'll see. Check us out on Thursday on World Blockchain Roundtable.
Yes.
I'm probably going to start streaming it on my channel too, so you can check it out.
Good.
Lisa, she
Yeah.
streams it. I'll start streaming it.
Yeah. And we're going to try to fit in. I'm going to try to get together with I Am for I Am and do the show that we did on Monday and maybe drag Sean on there too.
Maybe I'll jump on there after I
Okay,
slept.
that'll be awesome. So we can make up for missing Monday. We're going to try to fit it in on Wednesday or Thursday. It's just been crazy.
And I like hanging out with them anytime anyway. So
Yes.
we'll see y'all then. Love you.
All right.